welcome to the 8th episode of All for Lombardi. Today is October 26, 2017. I am Dustin.
Nathan here.
And yeah, we had an interesting Week 7 in the NFL. Of course, it all started with the Chiefs and the Raiders on Thursday Night Football, which was a bit of a heartbreak game, as you told me, and I do agree with the assessment.
Another great week in football, but then again, there is no such thing as a bad week in football, to be honest with you.
If there was a bad week, it was this. If there was a bad week this season, just by the games we got here, by the games I was forced to watch, because you have read some, lucky you. By the games I was forced to watch, it was pretty darn close to a bad week.
But there's no such thing as bad football.
No, there really isn't.
Exactly.
But anyway, the Raiders defeated the Chiefs 31-30 with a Michael Crabtree 2-yard pass from Derek Carr at the very end of the game.
With one of the most interesting endings of the final drive that I've ever seen. There were four penalties, I think, with no time on the clock. So the clock was restarted.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
One penalty. Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong stinking thing. Yeah, you're right. I was looking at fumbles, and there was only one fumble that entire game, so...
Yep.
Sorry.
So, what do you think?
I think it was probably the most watchable Chiefs game this season. I said Houston was previously, and I felt Houston was a very watchable game, but when it comes to games that were actually good and exciting and watchable from an outside perspective, I do genuinely believe this was the best game. So
still with the ending, it was still better than the Steelers game?
Of course, we were in it.
Really?
Yeah, we were in the game. We were in the game here. We weren't in Oakland. Well, with the Steelers, we weren't in that game. I turned it off during the third quarter. This game, I could at least have watched. I could have watched it all the way.
Fair point, but I thought the ending would spoil it for you completely.
No, not really. Look at the scoring here: 3-0, 3-7, 10-7, 10-14, 17-14, 20-14, 20-21, 27-21, 30-21, 30-24, 30-31. Come on.
It was very worthy.
It was a very good game.
Very, very worthy of good. You know what? Good job. I know we got to criticize Thursday Night Football, Monday Night Football, but nice job this week.
That was a really good. That may have been the best game of the week.
Yeah, it was. It probably was.
Yeah. And I apologize to Nathan's uncle right now. I'll just say that I did trash the Raiders a little bit last week, and you know what? They're back on the up and up. So, and we have them as our game of the week this week. So, that's exciting.
All is forgiven.
Yes.
Speaking of my uncle, he's not happy with Marshawn Lynch right now.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lynch, he says Marshawn Lynch has been somewhat mediocre this year. And not only that, due to a little scrimmage inside the game, what was it? They thought Peters hit Carr late or whatever.
Something like that.
And so Marshawn runs on the field and starts getting in there to try and break it up. And at one point pushes a referee. So that's a one-game suspension, and he will not play this week.
I know I said the Raiders are back in the up and up, and I was sorry for trashing them, but come on, Marshawn. I think even Nathan's uncle can agree with me on this.
That's what I mean.
Marshawn, just... I don't know why.
Yeah.
Don't be an idiot.
He's frustrated with Marshawn. He really is.
I don't understand why Marshawn...
has to run the field, yeah.
I understand you got a lot of pressure on you because after Seattle, you haven't been on the up and up as much. Mm-hmm. And I understand that, yeah, you got emotion and all that, but the Chiefs are notoriously bad at these stupid penalties, as I like to call them. I've never seen a Chiefs player push anybody down. I'm just saying. Marshawn Lynch, I'm sorry, but you're being really stupid.
It wasn't that he pushed down a player, it's that he pushed down a rereferee. If there's anything you should know,
referee.
Don't mess with the referee.
Even in every sport, isn't it? Don't mess with the referee.
Yes, absolutely.
Because in baseball,
you start yelling at an umpire, you're going to get thrown out.
Yeah.
You start yelling at a referee in basketball, you get technical.
Yeah.
So
anyway, now it's time. Well, you were going to say
it's
something.
a given in all sports. Is what I was going to say.
Exactly. So the Panthers and the Bears, man, I'm stumbling over my words today. The Bears won 17-3 to go to 3-4 on the season, which is the same number of wins they got last season. So unless they lose every game here on out, they should have a better record than last season.
If you jinx us here, I'm not going to be happy. We'll just say that. Anyways, this was the most frustrating game the Bears have ever won that I can think of. The most frustrating game the Bears have won in a long time. I keep criticizing Dowell Loggains, like, oh, throw the ball at Trubisky more. Well, his debut was 25 pass attempts, and then it was 16 attempts. This week, 7. 7 pass attempts. I was looking at some stats. People in 1940 averaged 7 pass attempts. So apparently John Fox plays very 1940s football.
He's got the beard now.
Yeah, he's been growing that over the last couple of games. Probably because he's on the hot seat. He just doesn't want to shave anymore. He's lost it.
He's that focused into numbers every day that he forgets to shave. He's too busy. He can't shave. Mm-hmm. His wife's maybe not too happy about that one, though.
Yeah, but Trubisky, 4 for 7, 107 yards, I believe. And the only real notable pass was a 70-yard bomb to Cohen, which was right on the money. By the way, Cohen barely being used anymore, so just going backwards in all directions. I know I've been saying to use Jordan Howard more, but I don't want Cohen to just disappear all of a sudden.
And I don't think this is one of those teams that can just go... I think this is a one running back system, and I think they're trying to get Cohen into the passing game now. So I do think that is going to take some time for the Bears to be able to pull that off.
From the first couple weeks, he still leads the team in receptions, I believe. True. So it's something that he still leads the team in receptions despite barely getting any receptions the last couple weeks. Okay. Anyways,
I can guess who your player of the game is.
Oh, absolutely. One of the best safeties in the game, Eddie Jackson. 2 75-yard TDs, 1 interception, and 1 fumble return. By the way, Carolina is falling apart right now.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, yeah. 2, and he was... That's why you take a safety, not with the 3rd overall pick.
Yeah.
I guess the 2nd overall pick, technically, with the trade up.
Yeah.
But because safeties, you can get a good one in the mid-rounds. Jackson actually went in the 4th round, but he would have probably gone... Probably in the 1st if he'd stayed healthy, because that's why he dropped so far, is because he broke his leg at Alabama. So yeah, if I could just say real quick, wonder how this game went. The Panthers had the ball for 38 minutes, and the Bears had the ball for 21 minutes. So just Panthers, they're a team that runs. They run the clock hard, because I swear every time the Panthers got the ball, whether they scored or not, they had it for 7 or 8 minutes. So. Yeah. Right. Defense is stout. Akeem Hicks is showing why that deal is going to be a bargain. Why that deal is going to be a bargain. And yeah, there you go.
So there we go on that game.
Start throwing the ball, Loggains. You got the Saints this week. Do it.
We'll get to that one before too long here. Then the Fog Bowl. You remember that game, I'm sure?
Yes, of course I do.
The Fog Bowl, Atlanta Falcons and New England Patriots. There was actually pictures. If you haven't seen the pictures from this game, oh my!
They had to change the camera angle mid-game.
Yeah, they could. They were lucky. They had 2 spider cams that game. First time in NBC's history for Sunday Night Football that they ever had 2 spider cams, and those 2 spider cams really came to use.
I was gonna say they picked a good night to use both of them. Then shoot.
Because you could like the above the field normal view that you see on a football game, it was too foggy. Even on the referee view, you could barely see Tony Corrente, the referee. I believe that's the referee from that game. Gene Steratore, I apologize. Of course, I got the wrong referee. Gene Steratore, you could barely see him on the sideline there. In fact, the pictures of Collinsworth and Al Michaels, there was a picture of those guys looking out over the field because they have their window. And they couldn't see anything. There was just fog out their window. They had to look at the monitors the whole way through.
Yep. What about Atlanta? Atlanta can't score right now.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Atlanta. They may just be... They're definitely not the same team.
Yeah. I completely agree.
Yeah, there was just no way.
And, well, on the flip side, Patriots are back. In my opinion, the Patriots are absolutely back.
I think this game was very good for them. I will say that they're definitely on the road to being back, if not back completely.
They're still, actually, there was an injury in this game that we'll get to later, and even then, even with this injury that we're going to talk about later, I still think they're the best team in the league.
Yeah.
Any team with the GOAT is going to be the best team in the league to me.
That's very true. So, we had our game of the week this week. Cardinals-Rams
in London.
Well, it was a blowout. 33-0.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be, right?
Yeah, of course, we select a game that's going to get blown out or be uninteresting.
I don't know.
We've been doing that for a while now, haven't we?
It's just a curse at this point.
Well, your uncle may not be too happy with us then.
Oh. It might go his way.
Yeah, maybe it will. But anyway, that's another discussion.
What about the Rams? They're a legit team right now.
Yeah, they are. I agree. 5-2. I mean,
I thought they
are a legitimate team at that rate.
I thought they'd flame out. I really did. I was like, it's over. Not that it's over. I thought, they had a really hot start, and I was like, they're just going to flame out, and they're going to finish like 8-8, 9-7. But they got a legit chance to win that division now.
Wait, no, I think a big part of it is Greg Zuerlein, their kicker. Because Zuerlein, he may be the best kicker in the league right now. I mean, he's doing excellent. 4 field goals in that game, 1 from 50 over. There was another 1 from 50 over a couple weeks ago that got him really close to winning the game. I think the Rams kicking has really helped this Rams team more than most kickers help their teams traditionally.
Gurley was a 100-yard day. Goff was decent in the passing game. But we can't skip around the big storyline that came out of this game, which is Carson Palmer with his broken arm, I believe.
Yeah, and he's on IR, so he will not be available until week 15 now.
I think the Cardinals
at
are
the
done.
least. I think
the Cardinals are done.
In fact, here's what I on one of my fantasy teams. I had Carson Palmer and Andrew Luck, so I had to make a decision this week. I went ahead and dumped Palmer.
Yeah,
because by the time we get to week 15, I'm in fantasy playoffs. If I'm still going in fantasy playoffs, I can't remember what record that team is specifically, but yeah.
This team's done.
If you have my fantasy, dump them now, because there's no way you're getting much return investment on that.
Yeah. So it looks like both of our quote-unquote hot division takes are done, because the Giants are now, 1-6? And there's no way that the Cardinals can survive without Carson Palmer. Yeah. No offense to Drew Stanton, but Drew Stanton's not a starting caliber guy.
Yeah.
He's a really good backup, just not a starting guy.
So then, Blake Bortles, he had a pretty good game in that Jacksonville. He had almost a career game. He was in his top 6. He was anywhere from top 6 to 10 from the stats I saw and all the major good stats. He was in top 6 to 10 for his career in his game against the Indianapolis Colts. Of course, they blew
them out,
Yep, 27-0. Tyrod Taylor, he had 268 yards in his game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was a win, 30-27. That was a close game.
Did we mention Carr had 417 yards and 3 touchdowns?
We did not, but that is...
Carr is back.
Yeah.
Carr's back, too. That's exactly why he is now the highest paid quarterback of all... Or, no, Stafford. The second highest paid quarterback of all time.
Probably. Somewhere around those lines.
It was Carr until Stafford signed that huge extension.
True.
If I could just say real quick. Yeah. Speaking of extensions, we're talking about the Jaguars. Telvin Smith got an extension. The thing is, I don't know the numbers right now because, I think it was Rappaport. Ian Rappaport said 44, and Adam Scheffler said 50. So, it's somewhere in that range. He's getting at least $11 million.
So look at Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's back, too.
200 offensive player of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Eddie Jackson, obviously defensive player of the week. If you get 2 defensive touchdowns, you deserve defensive player of the week.
Yeah. But, Amari Cooper, I saw on NFL.com Fantasy, this could be a career game for him. Mm-hmm. This could be his best game of his career.
Oh, absolutely. It is to me.
There's no way you can get back to 210 yards unless you're that elite of a wide receiver. In fact, I rarely even see that otherwise. Mm-hmm. So anything, Ted Ginn, New Orleans Saints wide receiver, 141 yards.
And speaking of that game, Hundley got shut down, right?
Yeah.
87 yards,
Something like that. We'll come back to that during the quarterback segment when we get there. Mm-hmm. Not too far from now. So then it's time for the injury report. And this week our injury report is not very thick because NFL.com, I'm still trying to figure out how they do injury reports. It seems they issue one every day, but they have different players on it. And if one guy was injured on Sunday, the same injury report does not come back when we go out there on Wednesday, so I really do not know. I'm still trying to figure out this injury report nonsense on NFL.com. But in the meantime, Carson Palmer was slated to have surgery yesterday to repair his broken arm. the hope is that Palmer will be sidelined for less than 8 weeks, but I believe they put him on IR now, so it's going to be 8 weeks anyway.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers announced that defensive end Noah Spence has been placed on IR after playing through a shoulder injury since week 2.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're probably going to need to go on IR then. That's one of the situations where that first week bye just killed them.
Mm-hmm.
In Carolina, Luke Kuechly is practicing but remains in the league's concussion protocol. I'd like to know how you can be in the concussion protocol and be practicing. We'll figure that out.
Something seems a little bit off by that.
Yeah, we'll figure that out for you one of these days. Maybe next week we'll kind of just look into that and see what's going on there. The Cowboys offensive tackle Tyron Smith will be limited in practice. He's dealing with a hip issue that flared up during Sunday's win over the San Francisco 49ers. Talk about wins, games that don't matter, and injuries are not good, especially in those games that really don't matter at all. And then Sean Lee, hamstring, will be limited too. And then the Eagles.
Jason Peters tore his ACL and his MCL. And then that pass rusher that I cannot think of. What's his name? I can't think of it right now. Maybe we can edit it in after. Edit in his injury. All I know is that's a big loss for the Eagles defense.
Yeah.
Here's a perfect spot to put it in here. This guy, name here, is a big loss for that Eagles pass rush, and he will be missed by that team.
Yeah, whoever it is.
We'll edit it in.
Well, either we'll edit it in or we'll just say it next week.
Yeah.
Either way. You'll know.
You'll figure it out. Yeah.
Maybe someday, hopefully.
Well, actually, send out the other big injury, which is another quarterback, Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
Cutler, I think broken ribs. Or not broken ribs, but...
something with his chest.
Something chest, yes. He will miss Thursday Night Football, which is tonight, as of the night we are recording this. Or the day we are recording this. And yeah.
We'll mention that Thursday night game later, because that may be a trash game. But
yeah, no kidding.
I'm going to watch it still, because there's no World Series or anything like that going on tonight. But
yeah.
So then now it's time for the Disappearing Act.
The Disappearing Act this week, actually a little bit different. It's going to be Kaiser.
Deshaun Kaiser.
Deshaun Kaiser for the Browns. And this is why you don't rush your quarterbacks to the spotlight. Deshaun Kaiser, so far this year, has 3 touchdowns and 11 interceptions in 6 games. That is not good at all.
Definitely not.
Last week, actually, he came back from being benched to get benched again.
Right.
Which, by the way, Cleveland lost to Tennessee 12-9. So a real great game right there.
I got to see bonus coverage of that. I don't even know. It was in overtime. It
went to overtime. Cody Kessler, who probably should have started the year as the Browns starting quarterback, he came in after Kaiser threw 2 interceptions on 2 straight plays. And after being benched the week before for Keith Hogan, he's been terrible. I don't know what to tell you. This is just a cautionary tale of why you don't rush your starting quarterbacks to the big leagues.
Yeah. And I'll just say here about Deshaun Kaiser, the advanced passing stats. Thank you to Pro Football Reference. We get all of our stats from Pro Football Reference. I should just go ahead and clarify this right now. So thank you, Pro Football Reference, for giving us these stats, which are more advanced, and I do think they are the only place you can find it, but I might be wrong. So advanced passing stats, they have a percentage in their advanced passing, and 100% is average. So, and higher is better. So sack percentage, 98%, so that's about average. Interception percent, 45%. That's way below average. Because higher than 100 is better. 100 is average. Higher than 100 is better.
Okay, that makes sense.
Completion percentage, 58. Touchdown percentage, 73, so not as bad. Yards per attempt, 65. So
not good.
So even the advanced metrics will tell you that he has not been doing well at all this season.
Well, it's hard to say anyone's doing well when their touchdown to interception ratio is over 3.
Yeah, that's true.
Or interception touchdown ratio. Yeah,
within over 3. As in 7 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, that kind of thing.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns. But
I know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's time for the QB segment now. You know who leaded with it. I mean, Derek Carr, 417 yards. Nobody's going to beat him at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Brett Hundley played this week. He was number 32 in yards when it comes to quarterbacks with 87 yards.
On 25 pass attempts. So this isn't like Trubisky, who had 107 yards on 7 attempts.
Yeah.
He actually had attempts and yet only passed for 87.
Yeah, 12 completions out of those.
And an interception.
Attempts. Oh, yeah, true. He did have 1 sack as well. I'm just looking at that. The 24-year-old starting quarterback in Green Bay is Aaron Rodgers is out for a while, isn't he? I don't know how
probably
long.
the rest of the year.
Yeah.
They're saying probably the rest of the year.
Saying, yeah.
Yeah.
So then Andrew Luck is still out. He actually has had more setbacks now. There's a probability that he may not play the rest of the season either.
Mm-hmm.
So you have Jacoby Brissett, who was 20th in quarterbacks last week for 200 yards, 10 sacks. That's right, 10 sacks.
Oh yeah, Jacksonville did get 10 sacks.
Jacksonville's a dang good sack
Saxonville.
defense, though,
That's what they call them, Saxonville.
Exactly. They are Saxonville right now.
Shout out to Calais Campbell. Doing work on the offensive line.
And then you have Case Keenum, who played this week for the Minnesota Vikings. They won 24-16. He's not been doing the best, but he did all right in this game. 20 for 31 with 188 yards and an interception.
Hey, they're winning games though.
Yeah, they are.
That's the thing.
Yeah, they're doing decently well actually.
Something to think about. Keenum, Bridgewater, and Bradford are all free agents at the end of the year. So.
And they all met, and we may actually get to a point this season where all 3 of them are available. So that will be a decision for Mike Zimmer for certain.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be really fast here. Any no interception weeks in the NFL. We were talking about this last week. The only team with no defensive interceptions is Oakland. Of course, I think they could get one next week, so I'm not gonna trash on them. So
it all started when the Bears had no interceptions.
Yeah.
So I remember.
And now Carolina is the only team with 1 defensive interception. You want to know the 2 top teams? Jacksonville, Baltimore.
Baltimore, yeah.
So there's a quick tidbit for you there.
Makes sense.
Pronunciations, yes. We were talking about how do we actually pronounce Dowell Loggains. It is Dowell Loggains.
Loggains, okay.
Nick Mdichi, that defensive tackle from the Cardinals that was on our injury report last week. Kemdiche, yep.
Yeah.
And then Saints wide receiver Michael.
You can take this one.
Who? Okay, here's how you spell this guy's name. HooManaWanui. Okay, so I think he had something a couple weeks. I think he had a touchdown a couple weeks ago. So this is why he's on the list. Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go. Saints wide receiver Michael Oomanawanui. Oomanawanui. This reminds me of when Marv Albert had that incident last year in the NBA with Antetokounmpo or whatever that dude's name was.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
And he just kept saying it wrong.
He said
wrong.
The pronunciation was different every time he said it.
Yeah.
So he was trying to get it right just by saying it differently each time.
Yeah, and that did not work out well for poor old Marv Albert. There. That was actually kind of fun trying to pronounce Oomanawanui.
There you go.
I don't think that was right. I think I forgot one.
He was with the Patriots a couple years ago. Caught a couple patches. Yeah. Patches? Caught a couple passes in the Super Bowl against Seattle. So that's probably where you recognize the name.
Right. And he had that Saints touchdown the other day.
Yeah.
So now we talk about the LA Chargers. We said we get to this point after a certain amount of time.
After the Chargers have had 4 games in LA.
Well, I'm not sure if we said that to the audience.
Oh,
but
good point. But we've been planning this behind the scenes.
And we've been talking about we would eventually get to this someday. Kind of like that injury epidemic tease that we never have gotten to.
Yep.
Speaking of teasing that one again.
Still don't have the numbers for it.
Yeah.
It's upsetting at this point.
But one thing we do have the numbers for it is the LA Chargers weekly attendance. So the Seattle Seahawks have the 2nd worst attendance in the NFL at home. Average right now. Well, 2nd worst attendance right now. 137,601 fans across all of their games.
At home.
At home. The Chargers, on the other hand, have 101,529. That is about a difference of 36,000 fans. Of course, they're in a 27,000 capacity seat stadium.
But not only that, if you at this little stat sheet we have, if you look, the Seahawks attendance is 78,000, 68,000, 69,000. So I think it's clear that the Seahawks have played less than 4 home games.
True.
So I think it's funny that the Seahawks are still outdoing the Chargers, yet even though they played less home games.
I know this is a random point, but I just saw something that kind of surprised me. Saints are the 3rd worst, and they're in the Superdome, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe the Superdome's not as big as I would have thought.
Apparently. I thought it was bigger, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
But, yeah, Chargers to LA has been an epic fail so far.
Of course, we've had moments where Broncos fans, Chiefs fans, all these teams that have been there, their fans, you're seeing more red in the stands than blue. You're seeing more orange in the stands than blue.
So, yeah, not only is it a 27,000 seat stadium, but they can't fill it with their own fans.
The fact they had the north end zone seats, Broncos, they were all orange. Mm-hmm. So there's something. There was concern that the NFL reportedly already concerned that Chargers might fail in Los Angeles. I do believe this was an older article, but I do believe they tried to dispel that rumor. But, I mean, can the Chargers succeed in Los Angeles at this point? When you already have this LA Rams team who's doing decently well, but they're trying to get their fan base at the same time built up. I mean...
Yeah, moving to LA seems like a terrible idea, really. I think there's a reason why the Raiders moved in the first place.
I think there's a reason why the LA Chargers moved.
Oh.
Money.
Spanos. Dean Spanos.
Yep. Just like Stan Kroenke.
Yep. One of the greediest people, probably, at least in football, we could say.
Yeah, I agree. So, then we are now moving on to our Week 8 schedule this week. I don't know what else to say this week.
I can read the rundown real quick.
Yeah.
Tonight, Miami and Baltimore, which we'll get into. Correct?
Well, yeah, we can get into that.
Oh, right now?
Well, if you want to.
Oh, well, it's just the fact that that's not exactly going to be a great game. It's Matt Moore versus the struggling Joe Flacco.
Yeah, exactly.
It looked good originally on the schedule, but now it's just sort of,
He had 2 passing touchdowns in Week 7, and his past 6 starts, I know he has 15 passing touchdowns with 3 interceptions for a 115 quarterback rating, but we all know how. I mean, that was one game for Matt Moore, so we all know how he's going to do now. I mean,
yeah, you never know. Matt Moore actually did halfway decent last year. Actually clinched the playoffs for the Dolphins last year, so you never know. If Matt Moore really shines against Baltimore, maybe he's the starter.
I think Devontae Parker's questionable again.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got Jay on that team.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have this Ravens team, Joe Flacco, a former alumni of the Disappearing Act segment.
Mm-hmm. Super Bowl quarterback, too.
Mike Wallace. Jeremy Macklin's injured right now. Mike Wallace is in the concussion protocol. Jeremy Macklin is questionable, and I believe he's out for this game. So
he hasn't played in a couple weeks.
Yeah, Benjamin Watson is the only player that Joe's going to have to go to other than the running backs, Alex Collins, Buck Allen, Terrence West. They're actually doing decently well at running back with committee, of course. I think most of that's due to Alex Collins.
And then to read... Sorry, I apologize. And then to read back down the rest of the slate today, slate on Sunday.
Yeah, not today.
Not today, I wish. Minnesota and Cleveland in London. That's why I didn't say at Cleveland, because Cleveland gets dropped to a home game. Anyways.
At 8:30 a.m. on NFL Network.
Yay. That's so fun. I don't think most people are up by then. Because don't those games happen in LA at like 6 o'clock?
In London?
Don't London games come on for LA at like 6 o'clock?
Oh,
or am I reversing the schedule? Am I reversing the time?
No, you're right. In LA at 6:30.
Yeah. So that's a big portion of your audience already gone. Anyways.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, there was actually a ratings discussion. Now we can talk about this because now you kind of opened the door. Mm-hmm. But the one of the morning LA games, when it was Dolphins Saints on Fox, got more than the Chargers game that day in LA.
Yeah.
So I mean,
LA's really
apparently more people are interested in these early morning 6 a.m. games than they are their actual home team games.
Which is just sad.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it. It's sad.
Yeah.
Anyways, Chicago, New Orleans, which we'll get into. Atlanta at the Jets. Carolina at Tampa Bay. Oakland at Buffalo, which again we'll get into. Chargers at New England. That's one to look on to because the Chargers have won 3 in a row.
Yeah.
San Francisco at Philadelphia. Indianapolis at Cincinnati. Houston at Seattle. Dallas at Washington.
That's Fox America's game of the week without Joe Buck, who's on the World Series.
SNF gets Pittsburgh and Detroit. And the Chiefs
the
They're
Broncos
home.
head into Kansas City on Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football. There you go.
I actually saw a promo for that earlier on TV. There was actually promos for this game already, which probably, it's interesting. Monday Night Football, the analogy that's used for Monday Night Football is, the games look good at the beginning of the season on paper, but then you actually get to them, and then it's like,
Ugh.
well, what? This game got selected?
Why'd we schedule this again?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do 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 do.
Brilliant.
But anyway, now ironically we're talking the Bears game first, so I don't even know why I did that then. Just to go straight into the Bears game on.
Just wanted to do it,
Fox.
apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is such a winnable game. Another winnable game we've been lined up against. I can't believe the Saints are 4-2, to be honest with you.
I think Drew Brees.
Oh, yeah, Drew Brees is always going to lead you
Drew
somewhere.
Brees, Mark Ingram, Ted Ginn Jr., Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas. I think it makes complete sense how this team.
Just not that defense. That's the thing.
Yeah, other than Kenny Vaccaro and Marshawn Lattimore, they really don't have much.
I know I said this earlier. If there's any week to open up the passing game, it's this week against the Saints, who don't have a very good passing defense. Besides, Lattimore has actually done pretty decent. But anyways,
Mitchell Trubisky is going to be aiming for his 3rd game in a row with a 90-plus quarterback rating and 0 interceptions. Will he be able to do it now? Will he even get the opportunity to throw an interception in this game?
Will he throw one pass? That's the question.
Yeah.
Are we going to run the ball 70 times? We might at this point. You can't tell I'm been frustrated with the offense. And it just goes to show how good the defense is right now.
Yeah. And last week, Tariq Cohen had a 70-yard catch. He is one of 2 rookies. Kareem Hunt is the other one with a 70-plus yard catch in 2017. Isn't that a coincidence?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Eddie Jackson's leading the defensive side of things on our little cheat sheet here.
He's been really good. Actually, the secondary's been better since Quentin Depps went down, which is weird.
Hey, that's a good thing.
Ever since that contract.
Not for Quentin Demp's contract, but
ever since Amos has come back in place of Quentin Depps, it seems like the safeties have been better. There you go. Hicks and Floyd are still killing it on the sack game. Nick Kwiatkowski is actually supposed to make his return this week. And the Bears also traded for Dacho Inman from the Chargers.
right.
Yep. Dacho Inman from the Chargers, which I think is a really good pickup. You might remember Inman had 800 yards last year in place of Keenan Allen. 800 yards in a week, that'd be something. And yeah, that's a good pickup. I don't know how involved he's going to be this week, but he could be good next week.
Yeah. And by the way, he was silent for a moment because I sorted his notes by the order that we were going to originally cover the games, but I didn't sort my notes that way. So that's why I had to look at his notes to see which game we were covering next. And it looks like it's going to be our game of the week this week, the Oakland Raiders at the Buffalo Bills. The Bears game will be around here. You can watch that on Fox. But if you're a Raiders fan, you're not going to want to go to watch Fox because CBS is going to have the Raiders-Bills game around here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something for you. Everyone's favorite referee, Ed Hockley, with those muscles, is going to be the ref on that game.
Oh, that's great. And this is, like we said earlier, this is the game that Marshawn Lynch will serve his suspension for. And yeah.
Jalen Richard will be in for him this week.
Mainly, yes. See if Amari Cooper can keep it up.
Yeah.
Because Amari Cooper at this point has not had a very good season, and of course was historically good last week.
True.
So, see if he can keep it up.
This may have redeemed them.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see, though.
Carr played a lot better than he has recently.
Yeah, you have that quarterback matchup, Tyrod Taylor, who the Bills are starting to look like a real team.
I think the Raiders are coming in kind of hot.
Yeah, I think they're both. I think they're both real teams. In fact, I'm amazed this game got so low a commentary crew and added Drew Calloway and James Lofton. I figured they'd have Nance Romo or somebody at this game because this is actually a really good game on paper and just looking at what's happened for these two teams, where they come from.
Shady McCoy, I didn't know he was averaging only 3.4 yards a carry. Yeah. And kind of a lukewarm year for him, compared to his standards, that is.
Yeah, but compared to his standards of last year, though, this game's probably a whole lot better. This year's probably been a whole lot better on him. Because last year he kind of just didn't really.
Well, last year was a lot of injuries.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I like this game a lot. I think it's going to be a really good game. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 17-14, something like that.
Right.
Watch it be like 73-70 or something now, just because we said something.
Yeah, watch it be a complete shootout or a complete blowout or a complete low-scoring 9-12 in overtime win for one of these teams.
Of course,
I'm going to enjoy watching that.
Yeah.
I may just have to flip over to the Bears game at that point.
And of course, Sunday Night Football on NBC.
Yep, Steelers and the Lions. This could actually be a good game. Of course, it's going to be up against the World Series, so...
Yeah, there you go. That's something we can look at. See what the ratings are like matched up against the World Series.
With how this World Series is looking, I'm sorry I'm going off topic here, but with how this World Series is looking, I would think that the World Series just gets more ratings based off the fact that this is a good matchup. I think this will be a great game to watch, and I'm going to personally watch it, but I do think the World Series will get more ratings.
It's a championship game, what do you expect?
Especially when you have LA.
Yeah, of course.
You have LA and Houston, those are two big markets.
Of course, absolutely.
But at the same time, you may have most of the Northeast watching Steelers Lions, so
there you go.
About the ratings.
Maybe you just set up the building blocks for the all for the Manfred Trophy.
Yeah, and I've also set up the show all for the Nielsen.
No. Just look at ratings for 45 minutes.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have access to ratings, but,
I know, right?
Nielsen's not very nice about that, apparently.
Apparently, yeah.
I've looked into it before, but they're not very nice about that. So anyway, Ben Roethlisberger, Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford hasn't had as great of a season as he should have. Mm-hmm. He may also just be cursed after getting that $115 million contract.
Yeah, actually, the big thing the big thing is this Lions defense has not been very good this year.
Right.
Usually that's how I think of them. I think of them as a defensive-minded team, but who knows? Maybe they're not anymore.
Yeah, maybe.
If the Steelers can pull out a win here, I'd be very happy.
Right. Well,
of course
you would be happy.
Oh, yeah, of course. But
it's the Lions.
Technically, the Lions lose, and then we go into the bye in second place if whoever can beat the Packers.
Right. So, let's see if I can do this again.
Well, Green Bay might be on bye. I don't remember. We'll figure it out.
The teams on bye this week are the Titans, Jaguars, Giants, Packers, Rams, and Cardinals.
Okay,
I almost forgot about that, and I was leaving it here just so I could read that off. Thanks for reminding me.
No problem.
So again, it's Titans, Jaguars, Giants, Packers, Rams, and Cardinals. Both of the Rams Cardinals after they had been in London. So both of them got their bye after London there. So, let's see if I can do this again. Da 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 da.
Brilliant. I love it.
The Broncos and Chiefs on Monday Night Football, live from Kansas City.
That's the I don't want to get sued version.
Yes, that's the I don't want to be taken down because of copyright version. Mm-hmm. Monday Night Football description. So there you go. Alex Smith is still yet to have an interception this season. Probably gonna keep saying that until he gets one. Which I probably ought not to. I ought to stop saying that because then he's gonna throw like 10.
Throw 10 in one game?
Yeah.
Would it be hashtag bench Alex Smith time at that point?
I don't know.
Even after 10 in one game.
But, speaking of this interception streak, he is one of two quarterbacks in NFL history with one touchdown pass and 0 interceptions in each of the team's first 7 games of the season. You want to guess the other one?
Who?
You're never going to get this one.
What is it again? My apologies.
No, I didn't tell you who the quarterback was. I was just asking.
No, what's the stat?
One of two quarterbacks in the NFL history with one touchdown pass, one plus touch, with more than one touchdown pass and 0 interceptions in each of the team's first 7 games of the season.
Vinny Testaverde?
Milt Plum.
Really?
I don't even remember who on earth Milt Plum is.
Must have been pretty good.
That or he was just one of those one-hit wonders who ended up not doing anything.
I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to get roasted for my lack of football knowledge in that situation.
Well, I mean, I know Blanda and all these other...
Oh, yeah, of course.
But I've never heard of this Milt Plum guy. I've heard of Eric Dickerson, who, by the way, Kareem Hunt is one of 2 rookies in NFL history, the other one being Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson, with 1,000 plus scrimmage yards in team's first 7 games. So, I mean... Mm-hmm. Tyreek Hill, of course, Travis Kelce, Albert Wilson, and then that defense, Houston, Terrence Mitchell, Daniel Sorensen. Terrence Mitchell ties for 4th in the NFL with 10 pass deflections. So
yeah, 2 things. We'll see if you guys stop the run, because I know you've been complaining about that recently. Yes. And we'll see how Smith does against that stacked secondary.
Yeah, and I was not able to give that rushing address again this week because I just didn't have the time to really get those stats together. If the Chiefs suck in this game rush defensing, though, I would probably put a 95% probability that I will be here making that address.
Mm-hmm. Denver's been falling off too, by the way. Trevor Siemian was really impressive at the start of the year, and he's fallen off. So
a little bit, yeah.
Some kind of interesting.
Did we find out who Milt Plum was by any chance, or is that not what you were looking at?
That's not what I was looking at. Okay. I was getting ready for my things.
Oh, yes. And speaking of which, it's time for our 5 things. 5 things in the NFL, which may impact today, tomorrow, sometime in the future.
Or just something cool to know.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to lead off?
Sure. Courtesy of Steelers PR on Twitter, Sunday night's game marks the first game this year on SNF on NBC for the Steelers. In a span of 8 games, the Steelers are scheduled to play 5 times nationally on NBC. 8, 11, 12, 14, 16. One of those I'm going to guess is Thanksgiving night. Another one of those I believe is TNF when they get the package. But
hope you like the Steelers.
Yeah, you're going to get them for a lot now.
Yep. My first one is Eddie Jackson. He is actually the first player in NFL history to have 2 75-yard touchdowns on the defensive side of the ball.
Wow. With
that interception and with the fumble return. So, shout out Eddie Jackson. You were an amazing 4th-down pick. Anyways, go ahead.
My next one is Alex Smith is now 175 yards away from having 30,000 passing yards on his career.
See if he does it against Denver.
Yeah. Eli Manning, by the way, last week we were talking about Eli Manning being at 320 to get to whatever he was at 40, 50,000. Mm-hmm. He only got 134. Yeah. So he's still fighting for that. And we anticipate against the Seahawks and with how the Giants are doing that he would not pull it off.
And then my second thing, offensive linemen, they don't get enough appreciation. But one offensive lineman that does get the appreciation he deserves is Joe Thomas. And unfortunately, on Sunday, he was injured, and his streak of 10,363 consecutive offensive plays was snapped. So he was on the field for 10,363 consecutive offensive plays, every play of his career, until midway through Sunday's game against Tennessee, and he is out for the year with a torn pectoral, I believe. Yeah. Something in the arm.
Was that a coincidence, though, that you said his streak was snapped, considering that offensive plays and defensive plays are considered snaps, so he had 14,000 whatever.
10,000.
10,000 snaps.
Oh.
And his streak was snapped?
But thank you for making me sound smarter.
Even when you didn't mean to be, no offense.
Yep.
So then our co-closer is the trade deadline, and it's Tuesday at 3 o'clock. This one kind of came up fast, I'll be honest. I didn't realize it until yesterday that, trade deadline's coming up. Mm-hmm. Once I saw all the scheduling and that stuff. Martavis Bryant, of course, is a player who may be traded, of course.
He will not play this week, by the way.
He will not play this week, but I did see where the Steelers were saying, we're keeping him.
Yeah.
We're not dumping. We're not letting anybody have him.
Well, we'll see now, because,
if somebody dangles that good a bait, I could see them getting rid of him. But
He didn't show up to the meetings, I believe, and now he's on the scout team, which means he won't play this week. So it's kind of interesting. That
They might as well just move him to the practice squad. Let somebody else pick him up.
no, they're not going to let him.
No, they're not. They're going
For
to trade
free,
him
yeah.
before, but
And that's our show this week. This is all for the Lombardi.
episode 8.
Yep.
October
Going into
26th,
week 8,
2017. So, we hope you have a great football weekend. God bless you, God bless football, and God bless America.
Go Bears.